Hello my fellow hunters. I'm not sure whether you know I'm the administrator of the unofficial Monster Hunter Rise World Record Leaderboard webpage. So on this webpage you can see tier lists, most used weapons, also for every high rank 7 quest, the world records from every single weapon, and also actually since some days ago I added for the high rank 6 quests the world records. But a lot of work, and actually I didn't found any country booters. If you want to be a country booter you can contact me, so I'm not sure how long this webpage will be active because it takes a lot of time to yes, keep all that runs on the newest version. So in this video I'm gonna talk about, in some days version 2.0 comes out and maybe the meta complete changes. And in this video I wanna compare the weapon tier list. I got all the data from the world records from high rank 7, every quest from high rank 7 and every weapon. For the gun lance and the hammer one, you can see there are 2 runs left, but I grabbed complete all Billy Nico video and I didn't found a good run. There was a single run with gun lance, but over 10 minutes, so I didn't write data or time in that run. Yes, because maybe all the other data goes wrong. And okay, I go to the tier list. I'm gonna compare this tier list to the Monster Hunter World Iceborne weapon tier list, and I'm gonna say, okay, that weapon is better now or not better, not better. And at the end of the video I'm gonna show you the meta weapons, or gonna we talk a little bit about the best possible weapons used in the high rank 7 quests. That data, I think it's not really I think the data not really apply in practice, because yes, there are very much ice weakness monsters in high rank 7, so please don't pay too much attention to the elemental weapons here. But I think it's a good comparison for yourself. All that weapon are shown here are very strong and powerful, and yes, with every weapon here there's a world record made. So that's only top tier weapons here in the table. But first of all we're gonna talk about the weapon tier list. First, we don't compare it to other previous gen games or whatever. We can see bow and light bowgun are by far the best weapon. Sometimes light bowgun was the first place and sometimes bow, so they are fighting each other in the tier list. But yes, it seems to be that bow and light bowgun are by far the best weapons. Also, longsword was always on the 3rd place in this table. I update this table every 24 hours, so sometimes something changes. Also, this weapon tier lists on how many good speedrunners you have with this weapon. So with Insect Clave, there's only one popular speedrunner named Pochi, but he does absolutely broken speedruns, so it's no problem. But there are also weapons for gunlance or whatever. There actually don't exist so good speed runners constantly uploading world records or whatever. So it also depends on the speed runner. But I think, yes, that's not the biggest case. Heavy bowgun on 4th place. Switch X is pretty good in Monster Hunter Rise. I remember I'm a Switch X main in the previous titles. Switch X was always in the 2nd half, so maybe at the 8th place, so like 1 place behind Charge Blade or Gun Lance. So I remember, I think in World Base Game, Charge Blade, Gun Lance and Switch X was about the 8th place. But now in Rise, Switch X is to the top 5 weapon archetypes, which is pretty cool. I think a reason because Switch X is so good is because of the rapid morph skill, which gives you a DPS increase of 32%, which is absolutely insane. Yes, no TSD spam in Monster Hunter Rise. Okay, Greatsword at 6th place, then Insect Clave, Sword and Shield exactly in the middle, Hunting Horn is also pretty good. In the demo it was better, but we all know in Iceborne Hunting Horn was the last or at the 13th place, so it's a pretty good increase for Hunting Horn. Torchblade got nerfed a little bit, I think. Also Hammer is pretty bad, and also Dual Blades are horrible. I think Dual Blades are so horrible because they are extremely skill hungry. You need crit element, exploit, rampage upskill, all that other stuff. Weakness exploit, constitution, marathon runner. And yes, with the set and the decos you don't have, like we don't have weakness exploit decos or whatever, I think they may be gonna be better with the ultimate version, but I think in the base version they are pretty bad now. Yes, last place, 13th place is Lance, and the last place is Gun Lance. It's the absolutely worst weapon in the Monster Hunter Rise game. I know Gun Lance is pretty good for some monsters with bad hit zone values like Kuluyaku when it has the stone or the egg, or for Ragnar Kadaki, which also has the worst hit zone values in the entire game. But yes, Gun Lance is the worst weapon in the Monster Hunter Rise base game. Sorry for that. Okay. Now we're gonna compare it to the previous game, to Monster Hunter World Iceborne, so we can see, okay, bow got better in Iceborne from 2nd to 1st place. Heavy bowgun got a little bit nerfed. It was absolutely by far. You can see 1.55 and bow is 3.41, so by far, you remember in every single run heavy bowgun was 1st place. Yes, and I am very happy that they nerfed HBG and it's actually on the 4th place, so I'm pretty happy with it. Longsword is pretty much buffed. You remember in Iceborne on 11th place, and now on Rise 3rd place, so extremely buffed. The Helmbreaker's absolute broken, AI, Spirit Slash, and all that other stuff. So yes, Longsword, I think it's the weapon which gets the most increase for damage output. We talked about heavy bowgun. Switch axe also got in damage increase. You can see from 8th to 5th place, which is pretty good. Now in the top 5 switch axe. Greatsword got nerfed a little bit. Now it's on the 6th place. In World it was place 3, top 3 weapon. Insect Clave is on 7th place. It also get a huge buff from the 12th to the 7th place. Sword and Shield got a little bit nerfed. Hunting Horn got buffed very well from the 13th to the 9th place. Torchblade got nerfed a little bit. Hammer got also nerfed a little bit. Dual Blades okay, at top 5 weapon in World, and now it's one of the worst weapon. I told you, because I think of the skills. Lance from 14th to 13th place, and now Gun Lance dropped from the 10th place in World base game to the last place, and you can see by far Gun Lance is so much bad in the game. Okay, now we talk about the first. I want to say I want to make a separate video for the meta weapons, but I'm gonna include the meta weapons in this video. Okay, let's start with bow. We can say bow by far best weapon is the rampage bow, because you can have every coding available, and yes, I've also seen the run from Visory or Diablos in 130 or so. He also used the rampage bow. I can't tell you all the details for the weapons, because actually I'm only using switch axe and hammer and hunting horn, but yes, you can read it yourself. Yes, secondary weapon is Engineer and Narga. So they 3 bows are actually the best. For light bowgun, Magna Molo is the best one, because for sticky spread you can choose like nearly every ammo type, and also the Almutron light bowgun is pretty good. I saw in several runs. Also Rathalos and Sinogre light bowgun. Yes, for longsword the Rime Blossom longsword. I think it's by far the best. It's a ice element longsword. You need stuff from Lagombi. I'm not sure whether it's a Gossarak or Lagombi longsword, so you can tell me in the comments. Also Narga Kuga longsword and Zinogre, or the Furfit longsword. For the heavy bowgun, by far the Feline bowgun, which is a silly weapon design. I didn't expect it that Capcom makes a silly weapon a meta weapon, but okay. There are also some use of the Venom Hail, Magna Malo and Barrier heavy bowgun, but by far we can say Feline heavy bowgun is absolute meta heavy bowgun. For switch axe, we have several switch axes are pretty good. By far, I think Barrier switch axe is the best switch axe if the monster has a ice weakness, like the end boss, Ragnakadaki or Rajang. There are so much ice weakness monsters in high rank 7, so that's the reason why the Barrier switch axes in the tier is so good. But all in all, I think the best damage output is Barrier, Rajang and Nargacuga. I think that 3 switch axes are the best. But also there are also world records with the Rajang, Diablos, Conquerors and Nargacuga switch axe. Conqueror's switch axe is very good for ruling state and exhaust. Yes, and exhaust damage. I also uploaded a build for the KO switch axe Conquerors. Yes. But if you're very new to switch axe, I recommend using the Nargacuga switch axe. Okay, let's go. Best Greatsword, Nargacuga Greatsword, and also in some cases Gossarak or Magna Molo, but you can see by far it's Nargacuga. For Insect Clave and Hammer, it's very easy. Only use Nargacuga in every single world record. They're using the Nargacuga weapon. For Sword and Shield, Nargacuga weapon's also pretty good, but don't forget Engineer, Commanders, Daggers, Diablos, Magna Molo. Yes, SNS also can be used elemental, and that's the reason why so much weapons existing here in this chart. For Hunting Horn, by far the Rampage Hunting Horn is the best because of the melodies. I think there's a melody which gives you attack boost and affinity boost, so that's absolutely insane. Also the Wild Grunt, I don't know why, but you can tell me in the comments. Yes, for Charge Blade and Nargacuga, by far the best Charge Blade. Also some uses of Rajang and Barrier of Charge Blade. Yes, for Hammer we talked about. Dual Blades, best Dual Blades are from Narga, also Engineer, Gossarak and Zinogre. Yes, Dual Blades is elemental, so we can't say, oh, there is this meta Dual Blades, but I think, yes, Gossarak and Nargacuga by far the best Dual Blades. For the Lance it's pretty easy. Diablos Lance is meta. Also Narga and Gossarak is not bad, but I think Diablos is by far the best. For Gun Lance, yes, it depends on what playstyle you're using. Are you playing with crit? Yes, and doing the wide sweep or other stuff which needs crit damage, or do you playing full burst? Rathian is the best gun lance. So for full burst I think Rathian is the best, and for that other playstyle is Nargacuga for crit style. Also there are some use of Admiral or Diablos, but you can see I think Rathian is by far the best gun lance. Okay. That was it with the meta weapons and yes, weapon tier list. I want to make this video before the update 2.0 comes out, because the reason is we get the high rank 8 quests, and yes, several new weapons, several new armor parts, several new decorations. Melding system got fixed, so much changes, and I think I'm gonna update that later. But this video is so you can say, okay, that's for version 1.1.2, and if we got an update later, I'm gonna update this video. Okay, see you next time. Thank you for watching.